What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, people? Welcome once again to Building Stuff with Nova. It's a brand new week. That's right, today is Monday. I'm happy to be here with you as your host, Dr. Nehemiah Mabry, but you can call me Dr. Nee, and this is the place where we show up. I'm here, you're here every day at 1 p.m. Eastern on Twitch, where we like to refer to it as your ideation laboratory, your virtual makerspace, your mastermind, a place where you and I get to build together. And so today is no exception, and we are live not only on Twitch, but this is another day that we get to be live on YouTube. So here's what I need you to do. Whether you're joining us on YouTube or you're joining us on Twitch, if you're part of the building committee, that goes for all of you right now. Drop an emote, or as a matter of fact, let us know how your weekend was. I would love to know how everybody's doing. I already see in the chat that Nova, shout out to Nova Building Stuff, has already welcomed everybody into the place, into our laboratory. Shout out to Terra Blazer. We see you. Happy Monday, Terra Blazer. Super happy to have you back with us, a member of the building community, building committee. We got Papa Stem here. Papa Stem, Terra Blazer, how was your weekend? Let us know how your weekend was. As a matter of fact, I also want to know and hear from anybody who has yet to drop in the chat. That's right, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Twitch, we want to see how you're doing. That Opal guy, our friend from YouTube, always hanging out with us here on the Nova channel. I see you. Good morning to you. How was your weekend, that Opal guy? Let me know how y'all feeling. And if I could tell you really quick how I'm feeling, it really starts with G and it ends with D, and it's two O's in the middle. I feel good. I feel good because I'm here in the seat in front of this camera and I get to talk to you. But let me know how you feeling. I understand that everybody doesn't have the same mood. As a matter of fact, if I were to describe the mood of, like, I don't know, North Carolina where I am right now, we feel pretty good because the storms have already passed. Y'all know we had storms last week. However, it's still overcast, but on the good side, on the bright side, no pun intended, it's kind of overcast, kind of cool, right? We all like kind of chilling. As a matter of fact, the morning was perfect for a morning walk. So I need to know how you all feeling. I need to know how you're feeling. Terry Blazer said, I had a great weekend. I love it, Terry Blazer. Good to see you. Papa Stem is fantastic. Yes, that's great. That's great. Herself 01. Hi, all, feeling good. That is great. Weekend was beachy. Outbound, we see you. Beachy. You got to go to the beach. You know what? You better get those beach trips in. I don't know where you stay. Some people may be in a sunny area all the time, all year round. But for those of us who have those seasons, right? The ebb and flow of the temperature, you better get the beach trips in before it's too late. I'm glad you were able to enjoy that outbound. Let me know how you feeling on YouTube. If you're brand new to the channel, now is the perfect time to hit the follow button. As a matter of fact, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit subscribe, give Noah a follow, and give Noah a subscription, and then come over to Twitch. Everybody on Twitch, if you haven't already, now is a great time to hit the follow button so that you can hang out with us on a regular basis. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up our agenda. Let's bring up our agenda for today. We're going to talk Olympics because yesterday something happened. You all already know the Olympics had this closing ceremony. And I'm going to be honest with you. I woke up today feeling like, I don't know, something's missing. I don't know, but we're gonna give you one more day of recap to here on Building Stuff with Nova because the medal count has been finalized. They've already passed the torch to where the next Olympics will be, and we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. But first, we have to introduce you to somebody who has been doing a lot of great work in the area of STEM and sports, working and living and really producing content at that intersection. And so we're going to be introducing here in just a little bit Ayonnah Tinsley. She's going to be on the screen. And I hope y'all are excited because what we're going to do is really just hang out and vibe a little bit about where we found STEM and even particularly engineering all throughout the Olympics. We're going to highlight some of those stories as we do our Olympics STEM recap. And then as always, we're going to tell you what's to come. We have a week full of streams that you all are going to enjoy starting 5-10 minutes ago, right? So hang out for the entire stream. This is going to be great. If that sounds like it's good to you, I need you all to say put a thumbs up, say good. Let me know how you feel in the chat if that sounds like a great agenda. That's right. We're taking you out on YouTube. Let me see what my YouTube folks are doing. I got to come over to the Nova channel on YouTube because I want to make sure that y'all are with us before I bring Ayonnah here on the stream in just a little bit. Shout out to the YouTube audience. We see you, Melissa. Shout out to you, Melissa. That Opal guy, of course, is hanging out with us. All right. Thanks for the hearts coming in. Now, let me go ahead and share with y'all who our guest is for today, as I've already said her name. But let me go ahead and show you her picture. Ayonnah Tinsley. You can find her on social media, particularly on Instagram at STEMX Sports. Rising senior studying arts, technology, and business of innovation with a sports media minor at the University of Southern California. Shout out California in the house. We got West Coast. She is also the creator of STEMX Sports and If Then She Can's STEMinist News. And we're going to talk a little bit about that too. She has a story to share with us on that. Now, when Ayonnah isn't making videos, she loves trying new sports, from ultimate frisbee to bouldering and finding new vegetarian restaurants. Oh, that's interesting. I'm a vegetarian as well. I might have to find out what I need to check out next time I go to California. But I need y'all to do something. Papa Stim already got It's Good, the referee on Twitch. We got the dinosaur dancing. We see you herself on YouTube. We need Twitch. We need the building committee, wherever you are, to put your hands together. Give me some energy in the chat. I need to see some emotes, some emojis, whatever you have, as we present to some and introduce to others. Welcoming to our program, Miss Ayonnah Tinsley. Ayonnah, how you doing?
Hi. I'm doing so great. I'm so excited. How are you?
I'm so excited. I'm feeling great. I bet, just in the spirit of competition, I'm more excited than you. I bet you I'm more excited.
I don't know about that. I was actually excited.
I don't know. I'm your excitement times my excitement. I'm like the summation of excitement on this stream right now.
Don't make me bring exponents into this. I remember math class.
Listen, I'm infinity into, that's how you would like always trump somebody in like elementary school. I'm infinity inside it. Yeah. You can't be better than infinity. People are like infinity plus one. But what's up, Ayonnah? Everybody's saying what's up to you in the chat. Everyone's showing you some love. Terrorblades are nice. We see you on YouTube welcoming Ayonnah. What up, Mike V? Mike V is back with us on YouTube. We see you, Lydia. Thumbs up. Ayonnah, what's going on? What's going on this morning? It's a little earlier. You're out on the West Coast. How was your weekend?
Yeah. My weekend was really good. Just did some work, working at a nonprofit this summer. So helped with some marketing, passing out flyers all over LA. So doing lots of driving around LA. Went on a hike too, actually. I forgot about that when you asked earlier, but wow. Yeah, did some hiking. Love it so much.
Quite a bit. Well, let's talk about you a little bit. And I got some images for everybody to get to know you a bit more. Now, you're not just a person who talks about sports. You actually have athletic background, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, former high school athlete. So okay. I did basketball and track. I took track way too seriously. And I love everything about it. Still love everything about it. Even volunteering for the USC track meets like whenever I can, and just love running.
When you say you took it way too seriously, what do you mean you took it way too seriously? Like you ate, slept,
like I was ready to run in college. Like it was like that. Like honestly, if like COVID didn't happen, I don't know where I would be now. But like honestly, like before COVID happened, like me and my friends, we did the 4x4 relay. Was our best race. I remember we won like some competition at like New Balance Nationals, and like in high school, like still now high schoolers, all you want is like the new backpacks that New Balance has. Yeah. And I would be running out of Greensboro, North Carolina, or like Hampton University all the time. So I came out to North Carolina a lot to run.
Really? We didn't know each other then, but that's dope.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
That's dope. Chat, let me ask y'all a question. In the chat, let me know if you were to go professional in any sport. Let's say somebody asked the high school version of you. And if you're not in high school yet in the chat, let's just say right now. But if someone were to ask the high school version of you, this is the question for chat. What sport are you going professional in? What sport would that have been if we were to ask the high school version of you? So for you, Ayonnah, as chat answers that question, I hope it's clear. Like if we were to ask your high school self what sport you're going professional in, if you had to go professional in a sport, what would the answer be? That's what I want to know from chat. But for you, the answer was track. I'm assuming that would have been track and field, Ayonnah?
Yep, track and field, and probably would have done the events like 800 and triple jump. Those were my favorite ones. 800
and triple jump. So you were, is 800 considered, that's a distance, right? You consider a distance runner.
It's like, yeah, 800 is actually interesting. It's kind of considered, it's something called like mid distance.
Okay.
Like, like even when you're watching the Olympics, like those people, they're going out, like, so it's like two, for anyone that doesn't watch track, it's just 2 laps around the track. The track's 400 meters.
Right.
And the 400 meters is definitely a sprint. In the 800, you are sprinting and then you're sprinting again, just holding on for dear life. So it's like a little different. Like it's not like a 2 mile type distance or anything, but it's a hard event. But I kind of like triple jump and 800 are kind of like confusing and like complex to compete in, because it's not just like straightforward. Like you're not just running, you have to have a strategy, but that's why like I love them so much.
Why do they call it triple jump?
Triple jump, so it's like literally like a hop, skip, and a jump. There's pretty much 3 phases to the jump.
Okay, yeah.
Exactly. So like for example, actually, I think her name is Thea, but like whoever was the women's Olympic champ for triple jump, not only is she like a substitute teacher like full time like right now, but she is like the first athlete from Dominica, like from Dominica, the country, to win a gold medal. I think even to like win a medal. So
that was this year.
Yeah, she does triple jump.
That was this
year, like a couple days ago.
Wow, yeah. Wow, that's your sport.
And then he literally, yeah, and then it's literally like literally your leg. It's so hard to explain, but if you watch a video, just watch her like playback of how she won. But it's like you jump off one leg and then your leg like kind of like cycles around the other leg, and then you go into like a bound, like you go into a huge like lunge jump, and then you take one more jump, and then you go right into the pit. That last phase kind of emulates more like long jump.
Got you. Let me look at the chat real quick. We see some people talking about their sports. So let's see. Papa Stem wrestling for sure. All right. Outbound climbing would have been their sport. We can get some of these on the screen. All right. We got Trailblazer, swimming. Yeah. Swimming, dope for real. Swimming definitely would have been, I think, one of the things that I would have really been into. And then we got gymnastics and trampoline. Future doctor, shout out to gymnastics.
Cool.
Our U.S. gymnastics team did a great job this year. Let me ask you this, Ayonnah, really quick. What's this other photo? And I want to know a little bit more about your brand. Like, what got you into creating this sort of infusion of STEM or this intersection? And you can let me know if I need to change this photo. But talk about what's on the screen now. I see this is what engineer look like. All this kind of break it down for us.
I got you. So yeah, so what you see on the right, it's actually a children's book that I wrote, illustrated, even like published myself, figured that all out in high school. It's called This Is What an Engineer Looks Like. And honestly, I've generally been doing work in STEM advocacy since like late elementary school. Like I went to my first STEM fair and that my teacher asked me to speak at it, and that completely changed my life. And then in high school, I decided to take the really big step in like, I want to show characters that look like me, that completely don't look like me, that just represents more kids, but also shows all the fun in STEM. And some engineers or just women in STEM in general that inspired this was like Dani Washington. She's like one of the first Black women to host her own science show, or Menzer Pehlevan. She's a roller coaster engineer. And this company, like these different companies, there's this movie called Dream Big, and they sponsored this science movie that showed all these really cool things happening in STEM. You could engineer roller coasters. You could have robotics club at your high school. It's like, it was showing all these cool applications of STEM that you don't just learn about. You don't get to just learn about in school. So I wanted to make a resource. I talked about how my computer programming character, I talked about how if you like video games, this is a job for you.
Yeah.
The aerospace engineer. So that little character in the top left corner, like that at the time, like all my life, I was actually planning on being an aerospace engineer. I worked at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, like not too far from you, like a couple states over. Yeah, so like that's the character that represented me. I love my Afro puffs, had a little Panama flag on like my little flight suit and everything, because that's where my family's from. I had a teacher that's wearing a hijab and everything, and that was really just like my first big step into, okay, I want to take the STEM advocacy thing like seriously. And then that's just the whole brand just showed. That was the first time I was like, oh wait, I love talking about STEM when it's not just getting to talk about just STEM. Like when I was working at the museum, I always tried, because toddlers, little kids, they're not going to listen to you talk about planes all day.
You got to mix it up.
Exactly. When we were talking about jet propulsion, I was tying it into how it's like deflating a balloon. When we were talking about flight suits and everything, I actually got to talk about how astronauts train in Olympic-sized pools, like literally to be able to withstand like the lack of gravity in space and all of the missions that they have to do outside, like in just the middle of space. And even track and field, I use that to help explain what Bernoulli's principle is, like how lift is generated from airplanes. And I think it's like all these small things I did in high school really showed like that I really showed college me like I need to tell more people about this. I love, like, this is what I love talking about.
And you got it. And then, of course, your natural sports background. And by the way, chat, we're going to get into the Olympics here in just a little bit. So get ready. Hope you all are ready to do some research with us. But in terms of like the, am I pronouncing it right? STEMX? Was that the right way to say it? STEMX?
Yes, STEMX.
STEMX? Yeah, STEMX.
STEMX.
All right, STEMX. And right now we're doing this special STEMX Olympics kind of, but your brand is called STEMX Sports. Talk a little bit about that really quick. These are some of your Instagram posts.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. So how STEMX actually came to be. So like I said, my major, I studied at the Ivy Young Academy, 30-person program, very small program at USC. But to get in, you actually had to submit a 60-second pitch video about any app idea. You have 1 minute to convince them why you should like be at the school, why you should let them interview you and everything. And actually I came up with STEMX like on the spot. Like it was just, I didn't have to think about it. I was like, cool, I like mixing things with STEMX, and that's why I made my video. I literally video edited with like Canva and something else like WeVideo. Like I didn't know iMovie, I didn't know like Premiere or CapCut at the time, and so really had to be really resourceful in that. And yeah, STEMX just came so naturally, and I talked about an app that can tell you about, you know, the chemistry in painting, that can tell you about the physics and basketball, the like shooting, how you shoot like parabolas when you shoot a 3-pointer. And that was just my first idea. I just thought about it in like a minute how to talk about it, but now it's transformed to all these amazing opportunities with Nike, with talking about my favorite athletes, talking to some of my favorite athletes, and everything you see here.
Yeah, no, you have a lot of different great videos. And I want to ask you about one really quick before we dive in. This right here, speaking of STEMX Olympics, what is this post right here all about? Bring it out, because I know your bio says that you don't just work with If Then, a project on the If Then as well as STEMX. So what is this right here we're showing?
For sure, yeah. So it's actually through something, shout out to Sam Wins, but she founded something called the Ecologic Project. It's a really awesome summer camp just for girls, and it's pretty much just teaching them all about STEM for a week. And they have this STEM fair every year. This is my second year now getting to host at it, and I knew I had to make something Olympics related. I always have like a mini booth, and I always try to have the girls think about STEM in a new light, think about it with their passions. So this year I made a little booth where I had like, let's say like robotics, chemistry, physics, and then I had sports. I had track, soccer, and like wheelchair basketball. And they would have to pick a card, and depending on what numbers they picked, I'm like, okay, you have to think of a way to talk about chemistry and soccer. Like, how can we use chemistry to create a viral social media moment for soccer? So some ideas were like, we'll do the elephant toothpaste experiment during halftime, or, you know, we'll think of ways to make really cool lights. Can we put lights around the soccer ball or something, or make the soccer ball change colors depending on the force of the kick? And just seeing little girls like, you know, come up, have this whole like STEMX sports mindset makes me so happy. And I love getting to go to that camp every year.
What was the thing? Can you show, because we just showed you had a little wooden thing that came up.
Yeah. I have it right here. So pretty much, and I always love, you know, too, I always think, what did I want as a kid? And I love me some free stuff. I love some free merch. So I made them these tiny little like keychains. First I laser cut it, and then I figured out how to 3D print them like right at home, 3D print little STEMX with some Olympic rings. And this is my new favorite keychain.
I love it. Y'all show some love. We're about to get into the Olympics here in just a little bit. That's a dope keychain. I might have to order one myself.
I know, I gotta send you over.
You know what I mean? Send it from the coast to coast. We see you at Clockwork. Everybody, again, if you haven't known, if it's your first time, this is Building Stuff with Nova, and today we're doing a STEM Olympics recap. As a matter of fact, to be more precise, Ayonnah, we are doing, I guess, because the channel is all about engineering, we are doing an engineering Olympics recap in many ways, and we're going to talk about some of the places where we found technology, STEM, engineering, all that throughout the Olympics. So chat, I want you all to be able to contribute to this. So if we come across something that you found as you just Googling online, we want to hear your ideas too, and as you contribute to this conversation. But let's go ahead and start off with just really quickly the medal count. We know that it concluded yesterday, and we're happy to share or to acknowledge the fact that the U.S. won the most total medals, right? The most, I think we tied with the gold right there with China, right? But then total medals, we got like 126. USA, right, Ayonnah?
Yep, go Team USA.
Go Team USA. Yep. And then of course we got it basically listed from total number of gold medals here. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, what is it? You have Japan actually with a little lower on 45 total medals, but we did have at the end of the day, I guess Great Britain is probably right after us in terms of total medals. And then you got France, who were the host of the Olympics. And then you have Great Britain, and then you have Japan. So, hey, all in all, good showing for Team USA, right?
Yep.
But let's start off. One of the things I thought was dope, Ayonnah, and I don't know if y'all saw this. Now, the Olympics, I know everybody couldn't see the Olympics chat, and I know you didn't always were able to tune in. Some of it was on like streaming services, some of it was on certain channels. But this boat parade was pretty interesting to me. I thought the boat parade was pretty cool. Did you get to catch that?
No, yeah, for sure. And there was like a bunch of like really cool stories too. Like some athletes would throw flowers into the water or into the river, like scene sign to honor like loved ones. Or actually the previous Tokyo Olympic champion from Italy, he accidentally lost his wedding ring during the opening ceremony.
I did not hear that story.
No,
that is crazy.
It flew off. He was partying a little too hard. But he went viral because he shared like the sweetest message like to his wife, like saying sorry, but like
Papa. I guess that's what Papa's still talking about. A couple of mishaps. Go ahead. What do you say?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was just like, I know, it was just like he was saying like sorry, but you know our love's in Paris forever. So
I know.
That's a cute way to spin it.
Indeed. Love is in Paris forever. Future Doctors, I like how countries represent their countries with their wardrobe. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I think there were like a couple of boats, if not all. Nobody can maybe fact check us on this, but a lot of the boats were made out of sustainable materials. At least I came across that somewhere, right? Making sure that they were like eco-friendly. I know Paris is really big. They have a commitment to eco-friendliness. And so there's the materials of the boats. That was pretty interesting. And then I think there were some LED, a lot of different like tech displays and stuff that were all throughout the opening ceremony. I remember watching that, which was pretty cool. Let's see. Mongolia and Haiti had some amazing outfits, herself said. Yeah. What was your favorite part of the opening ceremony? If you saw it, go ahead and drop it in the chat. I don't know if you all got to see this, but I remember we were at a restaurant, and at one point I was like, they're going to alphabetical order. And then in another point I was like, wait a minute, are they going to alphabetical order? I was getting a little fused. All I could think about though, Ayonnah, was like the logistical, like behemoth of a project this was, trying to make sure everybody's boat is on time and everybody's in the boat. And like, I'm sure they had spreadsheets upon spreadsheets.
No, literally. And then I heard like, I just want to put in my all-time favorite outfits were Team Liberia. They actually had Telfar. Yeah, they had Telfar being their like sponsor, being their brand that like clothed them for the games. So those outfits like looked so amazing. It was beautiful. And then also too, I heard so many mishaps, like some of Nigeria's women's basketball team weren't able to make it on the boat.
Oh yeah.
Or like the openings. Yeah.
It's not like you can just go hop on a boat if they're already in the water.
I know exactly. I'm like, where was miscommunication? And then obviously it was that like the time difference of a lot of athletes. Like I know swimming and diving, a lot of those athletes were just asleep.
Exactly. We're good. That's what I'm saying. Like the logistics of making this happen was definitely crazy. And then there was the Olympic torch. Like I remember watching Olympics as a kid, Ayonnah, and I was like, how in the world is that torch still lit? Like in my mind, I thought it was like a legit, like, something on fire that you light, and it's like, they're walking, the wind didn't blow it out. But obviously we know that these were fuel torches. That's the only way that they can really take place. But there's a lot of STEM involved in this. I mean, just look at the material of the actual torch. That looks like some pretty neat material there. I'm sure they use some aluminum. I'm believing some carbon fiber in there. I believe. And so there was a lot of different materials, first of all, to make it lightweight, right? Because you don't want a heavy torch that you're like passing.
Yeah.
Right. And then when it comes to and you all can check this out. Oh, we're gonna get to the photo finish. I see Papa Sim has already brought up the photo finish. We're gonna definitely bring that up here in just a second. But just to talk about the torch a little bit longer, obviously they had to make sure they had fuel in that thing, right? They had to make sure it stayed lit. And then back to the fact that they want to be, I guess, sustainable. Now there's a lot of commitment to eco-friendliness and stuff. I imagine that there was a desire to make sure that there was a low carbon footprint, right, upon whatever fuel. So I believe they may have used, if I'm not mistaken, they may have used like hydrogen-based fuel just to make sure that it was a lot more of a lower carbon footprint. Yeah. I believe in terms of the Olympic torch. So that was cool, especially seeing Snoop Dogg out there carrying the torch. I was like, what is Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, Snoop Dogg was everywhere.
He was everywhere for the Olympics, man. Oh man, DuckTales. All right, we see DuckTales. Propane. I wonder if it was powered by propane for the fire to keep. Yeah, I believe it's higher. There we go. Thank you, Nova. Nova is definitely fact checked. This hydrogen and biosource propane were used for the torch. Awesome. Snoop Dogg is the new Olympic mascot. Chat says that's crazy. Literally,
like he's about to show out for LA. Like
yeah. But now let's go to something that you know something about, Ayonnah. Let's bring up the track and field. You are a track and field athlete. You broke it down a little bit for us. What are some of the things that you know about the Olympics as it relates to STEM around the track and field events?
Okay, yeah, let's get into it. So obviously the first thing that you see is the track is purple, and fun fact, this is the first time in Olympic history that the track has ever been purple. So Paris definitely wanted to take a little bit of a more unique route, wanted to really, just be competitive against all the other Olympics in having the best track. Some other things about it is that there's a company called Mondo. So they are the key manufacturing group and engineering group that is producing this track. They've produced several Olympic tracks in the past. And pretty much along with that, also really cool thing about this track is that it's made out of 50% like recycled materials. And there's one material that you cannot tell at all that is used in this track, and that is used seashells. So like mussels, shells, and more. The company actually worked with a fishing company to get some of this used shell material into the track, and pretty much that's to help source something called calcium carbonate that's just needed to help out with the rubber of the track, or needed to help just make the track as fast as possible. Because also the company claims that this track was 2% faster than overall, just 2% faster than the Tokyo Olympic track. But I'm like, how do you track?
Right. No. How do you know how fast the track?
It's like,
the track is not running, but I guess. Right. How do they know that? But that's an interesting claim, though. That's an interesting claim for real, right? That's what future doctors just said. I wonder how they look at the fast of the track. Well, the one thing is for sure, though, is like that is extremely advanced, like thinking right there. That's innovative when you're saying, all right, we're gonna recycle using these seashells. The purple track. I wonder if purple even has any type of like connection to like, I don't know what happens with the athletes as they're seeing the lanes or whatever. Right, I don't know if the purple.
Are they calm now?
Right. Is everybody serene?
Blue track. Like, I feel like red tracks. Yeah. When I see a red or a black track, I'm like, okay, this just looks like it's going to burn my feet. Or like, I know. I could tell it's going to be a hot day. I can smell the track melting when I'm running on this. So I feel like purple, like, maybe it gave the athletes more calmness or something. And then also a fun fact is like, similar to our favorite Nikes, or some of Nike's latest track spikes actually have like bubbles in them, similar to the very popular Air Max.
Air Maxes,
but the track has bubbles in it too.
Oh, what? Yeah. The track shoes?
The track itself.
Oh, the track itself.
Yes.
Okay.
So within a lower level. So like this track is a little bit layered. I believe it's around
they have like the layers
of track. Exactly. And in that lower level, in that lower layer, they actually have like bubbles within it, and they use computer algorithms to figure out, okay, what's going to be the best shape of these bubbles, what's going to be the best size of these air bubbles, so that it's like a lot smoother and bouncier, like energy transfer when, dominant athletes like Grant Holloway and McLaughlin are going ham on this track.
Yeah. I remember, and by the way, chat, this is something you all, maybe you can help me with too. Like I remember hearing, back to the color thing, that the color red I guess stimulates slightly different than another colors. Like I don't know exactly this is. I want to see if chat can find a reference, and Nova can of course look at what chat comes up with. But there's something like when you said calmer, I do remember hearing something about how like the color red does sort of slightly maybe speed up the heart rate or anything. I don't know if that was actually a scientific study or anything, but I just remember hearing about like color science and everything like that when people see different colors. So that's super interesting. And then you talk about the bubbles like in the Air Max shoes. Man, that's definitely pretty interesting right there. So maybe that's what made the track faster, Ayonnah. I don't know at the end of the day.
I know, like, honestly, I low-key want to take like the average, like, top 8 times in the finals for Tokyo and Paris and see, is the average literally 2% faster. But like 4 years, I feel like 4 years for a track athlete, like, track athletes can have like really long longevity, long careers, like Justin Gatlin, like he just retired and he's been running like forever. Or like Andre DeGrasse, USC alum, but also he raced with Usain Bolt. Like,
who's the world record holder. Yeah, no,
exactly. And now he just won he anchored Canada to win the 4x1 relay. So yeah,
the guy who ran with Usain Bolt anchored. Okay, got you.
Mm-hmm.
Got
exactly.
You.
And anchored this year, won this year.
Got it.
So man's been in the Olympics for like 12 years now.
That's crazy. Awesome. I see. Thanks so much, Nova, for dropping that comment about the track. Outbound, I heard blue makes you calmer, so purple, real blue, calm, and amp. I love it, Outbound. I love the theory right here. I love it. Thank you. So maybe it's purple is a mix between red and blue, so maybe you're calm and amped at the same time. I love it. Yeah. I want to talk about the starting blocks, but before I do, you said something about, I guess there was a race. Did you read somewhere? I guess maybe you came across something where like there was a race prior to that didn't count or something like that because of the starting blocks?
Yes. Yeah. So let's talk about some real track tea right here about how a college student in indoor track, so that's winter track, how a college student broke an indoor world record, but it didn't count. So pretty much his name, he runs for Team Canada. His name is Christopher Morales Williams. He runs for University of Georgia, go Bulldogs, everything like that. But also he ran the indoor 400 meter world record, but it didn't count because the starting blocks didn't have something called the starting information system. So World Athletics is like the whole World Track Federation, rules everything with track, is the people that actually paid their track athletes when they won for this year's Olympics for the first time ever. But since he didn't use World Athletics standard starting blocks, they had no real way of telling, well, maybe he false started, or like maybe you can actually get penalized in track for having too fast of a reaction time. So not only is he a player for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it's like a player for the Philadelphia Eagles, but also 100-meter hurdler Devin Allen. He's been penalized for having too fast of a reaction time out the starting blocks. So Christopher's world record couldn't be ratified because the starting blocks weren't the same as they used at the Olympics.
That's crazy. It's almost like, I don't know. I don't want to get too much into it. Let me delete this. I just want to show people what the starting blocks are like. These are not the official Olympic starting blocks, by the way. This is just a stock photo we have here, just so everybody knows what we're talking about. But to your point, Ayonnah, basically you're saying that if a person starts too fast, or if they're unable to like verify that you started appropriately after the gun goes off, then they can't qualify your time as an official time, basically.
Exactly.
Man.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like certain meets too, where like, it's like, you can't just run a world record at any old meet. Like it has to be certain meets too, where it's like, okay, like we can ratify it.
Well, that's why I want to kind of do this. And I'm going to go to Explain Account chat, and you all can let me know if you all can check this out. But I'm going to show my Explain Cam here in a little bit, because I want to talk about like the fact that they actually have sensors now in the starting blocks that help be able to determine. Chat, let me know if you can see this. Chapter number 1, if you can see my Explain Cam, because I'm going to talk a little bit about, I guess, the technology behind the sensors, and maybe not in totality, because Ayonnah, there is like a patented technology now in the Olympics as it relates to the starting blocks. However, it is based on sensors or accelerometers known to use what we call piezoelectric materials. And I want to do a quick Explain Account for that really quick here on the stream. So piezoelectrics I discovered this when I was like in I want to say it was like the end of my undergrad or grad school. I was doing my research at NASA, and I found out that there are materials, Ayonnah, that they're like crystals. Maybe they're like crystals, right? But when you press on them, let me just draw this, right? Mm-hmm. When they experience pressure, right? In other words, when it feels something pressed on it, it actually generates a voltage. Like a voltage comes out as a result of like pressure. And they call those piezoelectric materials, right? So basically, there's like a voltage that comes out. Of this material, right? Of this material, whenever it experiences pressure. And so these type of crystals or materials are used for like a ton of different types of sensors. As a matter of fact, one of the types of sensors that we know about is called like accelerometers that are able to determine the acceleration of things. And so what happens is, and this right here is just a little like measuring, right? This is just a measuring device that's able to determine like the voltage that comes out. But what happens is you're able to correlate the amount of pressure that's being applied or experienced on this piezoelectric material based on the amount of voltage that comes out. And so this is how these accelerometer sensors look with this type of material, right? So in the middle of, let me erase these words. Chat, I want to make sure you all can do it. Thanks, future doctors. So imagine like you have like this big encasing where you place your piezoelectric material in there, right? But then right next to the piezoelectric material, you put like a big mass, like a big weighted, like let's just say a big weighted ball, right? And if this weighted ball is on a spring where it's pressing up against the piezoelectric material, if something presses the outside of this, let's just say the foot of an athlete, right? You're then going to have this mass begin to oscillate on this spring, right? Gotcha. And as it oscillates on this spring, it creates, guess what? Varying pressure on this crystal, on this piezoelectric material. And so as this mass begins to move, it creates squeezes the crystal a little bit, right? And so as a result, there's a voltage that comes out of here. And by reading the voltage that comes out of here, you're able to determine what type of activity took place inside of this sensor. And so this is called like a piezoelectric accelerometer. Accelerometer. Where again, you're using this piezoelectric technology, which allows you to measure the voltage. And I'm just putting this here, right, to represent like some type of voltage, right? You're using this mass here to basically create different types of pressure on this crystal that correlates to the amount of voltage that comes out of here and allows a person to sense whenever there was something pressed on the outside of this accelerometer.
Gotcha.
Right?
That's really cool. That was a really great breakdown.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, Nova got a little drop. Piezoelectricity appear positive electrical charge on the side of a certain non-conducting crystal. Boom. Thank you for dropping that. So a lot of these sensors, even in our phones, right? Like in your cell phone, you ever notice how like in our cell phone, like it can count steps. You have these apps to like count your steps and all that. Basically, those are accelerometers. And there are different types of accelerometers, but this particular one that I just described is a piezoelectric accelerometer. There are some that are made of like mechanical means that just kind of measures how much a pin sort of moves, right? At the end of the day, these sensors are incredibly sophisticated, I think. And when I found out about even what you were talking about, how they have these official ones, again, this is not a picture, chat, that this is not the official starting blocks from the Olympics, but the ones that they have now actually have a way to determine whenever a person like takes off after the gun goes, and they do so using the accelerometer sensors here on that. If that makes sense, y'all in the chat, let me say makes sense. Let me know on YouTube chat. Let me know if that makes sense. And unfortunately, Ayonnah, this particular athlete that I guess could have broken the record didn't have theirs official because they didn't have the official starting blocks.
Exactly. But he's gonna come back and better than ever. So he's literally, I think he's still gonna be running for college. So he has so much more time to break that record again.
Yeah. Thanks, Papa. Still makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense. But Ayonnah, check it out. We got to get to what everybody, well, I wouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people were aware of, and that was that photo finish with the men's final. What was it? 100-meter sprint.
100-meter dash. Yeah.
Right, and this is obviously not the picture. People looking at this picture like, yo, that's not the photo finish. But we're gonna try to get the photo. Let's see. I got a couple of pictures here. I'm just gonna scan through them. But give us the recap. Give us the recap of what happened, Ayonnah.
Yeah, so let's get into it. So pretty much Noah Lyles, for a lot of reasons, you know, he's a proud athlete. I'll say that in the NBA. And pretty much people like to say that he's the reason why the NBA brought all their all-stars to get that gold medal for the Olympics. So everyone, including the NBA team or the USA men's basketball team, was at his 100-meter final to see what he does, to see if his claims of being the world's fastest man, world champion,
right? Because he was basically saying that like the NBA players can't say that they're world champions because the NBA is not a world league. And so there was this whole thing where, all right, let's see if he's a world champion, and the NBA players were trying to see what he did, basically, at the end of the day.
Yeah, but you know, everyone got their gold medal, but of course, Noah Lyles, it had to come with a little bit more drama. This is actually one of the closest in Olympic history, one of the closest 100-meter races it has been. Like, there's like between first and eighth place, or person came last, it was still like in the hundredths of a second, like not even a second. So
like 0.005, I think, for between Noah and the second place person, right? It was like
exactly. Yeah. It wasn't even in the thousands place. I think it was like a place before that. So yeah, it was absolutely insane.
Yeah. So how did they do that though? Let's talk about the technology behind that. And chat, for sure. You all probably already heard of this, but it's the whole thing about who torso. It's not the foot, it's not the head, it's the torso. Now, Ayonnah, was that always the rule? You're a track athlete. Was that always the rule? It was always torso?
Yeah, at least, I was. So I wasn't a short sprinter, so luckily I didn't have to, that wasn't really a concern for me, but that's just always the rule. That's why you always see, like in this picture right here, that's why you see people bending at the line. Like, yeah, you could dip your head and that'll help you dip your shoulders and get your torso in. Yeah. But yeah, you want to be as low as you can, or sometimes even in actually a really funny like SEC championship race a couple years ago, an athlete quite literally leaped over the line, or you'll see some athletes get really, really desperate to be in first, and they'll just jump over the line.
I've seen dives.
Torso will be there. Yeah, exactly. So it's always torso.
Yeah, got it. So they know this based on, I mean, photo finish. That's not just a saying. Like, there's actual something going on at the finish line.
You need that.
Okay.
Exactly.
So what was it? What were they doing? Was it cameras?
Yeah. So yeah, let's get into it. So it's pretty much called the slit video system. Okay. And pretty much what happens is that, so Seiko Timing, it's this company. They make watches, but they also make World Athletics' entire array of technological services, including an electric photo finish. So what happens is it's actually a camera that's taking 2,000 images per second for a given moment in track. So let's say it took like 2,000 photos per second of that like finish line. That's or crazy. Of like the actual Olympic race.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. And then what they do is that they're gonna line those images up as close as they can to like who crossed the line first, and they're gonna draw this line called the line of judgment, and that line aligns to whoever's torso crossed the line first. And as the world saw, Noah Lyles, by the smallest margin, Noah Lyles, Team USA beat Jamaica in the men's 100-meter dash just by like a literal hair. But thank gosh to Seiko video timing and everything that was able to give us technological and scientific proof that Noah Lyles won that race.
It's crazy because like, if this was like before they had that technology, it would have been like, oh, they tied. They're tied. As a matter of fact, it almost looked like
they would have guessed.
It almost looked like I don't know, about 3 or 4 of them tied. Like at the end of the day, from the look. And I remember watching it, Ayonnah. Who watched that? Chat. If you watched that, let me know what you thought. But I remember hearing the announcer say, and Jamaica's won it, da 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 da, like literally in real time.
Exactly.
Because Noah was kind of coming back.
Was like well over the line,
yes.
but not his torso.
Yes.
And like, that's just a common rule. Like
that's crazy.
Yeah, but you know he's gonna have a fire or special spark under him when he comes back to LA.
Yeah. Ultimately, USA got that goal. Now, the other, what is it? The relay, not so much. Not the 200 either. But you know, we got that one, right? We got that one. Let's see.
Yeah, we got the 200. We got every hurdle race. The Team USA swept that one too.
Really?
Masai Russell for the women's 100-meter hurdle final. That was also one of the like deepest finals it's ever been, or the closest it's ever been. Like that too. They didn't know who won, so you needed that photo finish again.
Yeah. Papa Stimson, I saw the comeback live screaming at my TV. Dope. Ayonnah just putting a couple of vibes here on here, but let's check this out, right? Line of judgment. I see you herself. All right, field hockey. You've discovered some cool engineering STEM integration in the field hockey event as well. What do we know about the field hockey?
Yes. Cool. Yeah. So let's talk about field hockey. I feel like it's especially popular. Born and raised in DMV, so it's especially popular. I feel like on the East Coast. But actually, this is Team USA's like first like Olympic appearance in a couple years. I don't think we made Tokyo, so this is a big deal for us. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And what you see here on the turf is actually made out of 80% like biomaterial, so aka sugarcane. They actually use sugarcane to make the world's first like zero carbon or like no like type of footprint, no type of environmental footprint for the turf field. So normally turf is just like, you know, like plastic or like rubber or something like that, but this is completely this is almost completely made out of biomaterial, so better for the environment. But I'm just curious how it felt for field hockey players themselves.
Me too. Does anybody play field hockey out there in chat? I'm curious to know. Does anybody play field hockey? Let me come down here. So basically, this was a carbon zero hockey turf. That's what we will refer to it as.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a guest on here, Dr. Melissa. For those who haven't seen that one, go back and watch the VOD on Twitch or watch the previous live. We have Dr. Melissa Lott from Columbia University, and we were talking about the carbon footprint of a coffee maker. I think that this would be something that she's interested in, but I think it's incredible that they were able to figure this out. But to your point, did it feel different? Was it faster? That's the question. Like, yeah, exactly. Was this a faster turf?
Faster? Like, keep that same energy with the track too.
I'm saying we get faster tracks. Can we get a faster hockey turf? Let's get that. Yeah. That's dope. Any field hockey players? I guess we don't have any field hockey players in the chat. I've never played, but I remember one time watching a movie. What was it? No, I'm thinking about the Mighty Ducks. But every time I watch the movies, that was ice hockey. But every time I watch the movies, Ayonnah, I don't know if you're the same, and they make it very big and like dramatic. Like I would come outside or go outside and try to do whatever sport I just saw in the movie. And I remember at one point, I think field hockey was something I may have was interested for probably like a day or two, and then I realized I didn't know what I was doing.
No, yeah, I remember my high school field hockey team was actually like really good. Like they were like state champions and everything, and I wanted to try, but it's like I was low-key just too tall for field hockey. Like I could play, but I would have to be bending my knees for way too long. Yeah. Because you had to like stay low like the whole time. Like at least basketball, you could like get up and run, or like I could jump and everything. Right. But yeah, it's
that bending to the ground kind of was hard on your knees.
You gotta stay low, and I'm like, that's not good for my height.
That makes sense. All right, well, I want to move on really quick here. I want to make sure we hit this right here because this was fascinating to me. They had do they call it skating? Is that what they call it in the Olympics? The event?
Yeah,
exactly.
Skating. So they have street skating, and I think they had like maybe like park skating, like two different types, but yeah. Okay. Cool. So they had a 3D printed, y'all. This was a pretty dope integration. 3D printed skate park there in the Olympics in Paris this year. What can you tell us about that, Ayonnah? Yeah, so some things I could say about it was, I will say it wasn't the official like skate park. This wasn't what they competed in, but more like an activation that literally anyone from beginner to literally former Olympians can skate on. And it had 8 3D printed components to it. It was actually designed after a pinball machine too, just to keep that extra fun aspect to it.
So it was like people like not just Olympic athletes, but people could come up and just
everyone.
Nice. This
park was open to everyone. It's the world's first 3D printed skate park, and it's actually it was 3D printed with cement. So it's like, yeah, they 3D printed with cement or like concrete, and that's actually like the same material that people use to 3D print houses, because some startups are starting on projects like that too.
Yes, I have heard of that, right? And there's a lot online. Y'all, did y'all know you can 3D print with cement? That's crazy. So they 3D printed cement. It was, I guess, a big old mobile like printing device that would squirt out cement and it would harden. And I just wonder how they made it curvy though. That's the thing. Like I wonder how they finished it to be smooth. Maybe they had to come back manually and do it. I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I can also add into that, like, you know, following along with our theme of sustainability and better for the environment, you know, since they didn't have to just shape a cement block or something. I think those curves are actually a lot easier to make, since 3D printing, it's like, you know, since 3D printing, it's just a very free thing, like the nozzle just moves wherever, but the designers actually got to have more creative freedom. So they got to make more unique aspects to a skate park because of 3D printing, just because the nozzle like moves in all like axes and everything. Right. But also it was better for the environment too, because less wasted material and a much faster processing and manufacturing time. No
doubt. As a civil engineer who has casted a number of my fair share of concrete beams and stuff, like, you can get pretty wasteful. You can end up putting too much, and there's a lot. So the precision for sure definitely goes up when you're talking about like something that's technologically driven or applied. Like you can make sure to use just enough, and I'm sure you probably could change the nozzles and stuff to where it's like, you know, a blob versus a spray, right? Like they're probably like different ways. Like I'm sure. Any skaters out there, chat, let me know if you skate. I have never. Have you ever skateboarded or roller skated or anything like that, Ayonnah?
Actually, I love skating. I don't do I do longboarding. Like that's how I get to class. And I love roller skating. Oh, nice. But I feel like actual like street skating is what humbles me. Like I try to stay away from those. But go the athletes though. Yeah.
And I feel like a sport like skating like that has a lot of like physics, a lot of balancing, a lot of like, you know what I mean? Making sure that you're able to shift your weight, your center of gravity. I know that I have the ability to show someone, like in terms of calculations, I probably could describe it better in like numbers than I could do it physically in real life. I'll be honest with you. My brain isn't calculating when I'm on a longboard. Though I've wanted one before. Yeah. I definitely have wanted one, but yeah, it humbles me as well.
Yeah.
It definitely.
I know skating is not for the weak at all. Like I'm like, when I see all those cool tricks, I'm like, go you guys. I just get happy when I'm able to skate over a pothole. So
I know. and not fall. I love it.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm still standing.
But so I want to make sure we get back to this medal count. Let's go back to this medal count again. Shout out to the USA, the land of the free, home of the brave, where we are sitting today. We brought home, we were tied for first for gold medals. We brought in, I believe, the highest number of silver medals. I believe the highest number of bronze medals. This is not the entire chart, chat, but you know, it has our country on there. And shout out to anybody who's joining us from overseas. Shout out to your country as well. Would love to know who's here from another country, but just want to show everybody the medal count at the end. Ayonnah, are you excited about the next Olympics? Are we planning to be there in some capacity?
Oh yeah, I have no idea. Maybe I'll be there for rugby. Maybe I'll be there for flag football. Maybe I'll be there getting to take systemic sports. And actually be side by side with NBC reporting. We'll see.
You never know.
Have been 4 years, but I think I strongly believe that I'll still be in LA for the LA 28 Olympics. That's why I had to wear my LA Sparks jersey. Dearica Hamby for the LA Sparks won bronze at the 3x3 women's basketball league. So
yeah. So wait, real quick. You said flag football too. You play football? You play flag football?
I like running. I like running. I like playing defense. I can be aggressive, so I feel like can be that. I don't think I could be the worst out there.
Yeah, I'm saying you got some athleticism. Did they have flag football this year? Forgive my ignorance. Did they have flag football?
Not today, but they're added in like 5 new Olympic sports, from like squash, flag football. I think even lacrosse and baseball, maybe even softball, but like they added some new sports, and flag football for LA, and flag football is among that.
Oh yeah. By the way, I'm gonna go ahead and ask Nova really quick. Nova, can we get one more fact check? What are those additional sports? Ayonnah just shared what she think they are. What are those additional sports for 2028? So I can see where I need to go ahead and start practicing on myself. Because I can do a little flag football, Ayonnah. I used to play football back in the day.
Oh yeah, dude, yeah, you got it. I need to learn what squash is, honestly.
I know, right?
That
might be the move. Her self question: do you have any insight on the process behind Jordan Childs losing the bronze? Yeah, that was crazy. Did you know? Did you look into that at all? The gymnastics.
I actually did. So pretty much what happened was that Jordan Childs. What happened is that the judges didn't rate or didn't judge her difficulty score enough. Yeah. So that the head coach of Team USA went in to file an appeal, an inquiry, and which is allowed. And you have a minute. You have a minute to do it after they give you the score. Right. And then the judges came back, rewarded her a new score, and that created the very first in Olympic history an all-Black Olympic podium in gymnastics, and create the iconic image. But then another Olympic court or something, I don't know if it was from a country or whatever, but they were no, they submitted the claim 4 seconds after the time frame was up. But then the US Olympic committee appealed that, and we have video evidence that we submitted it 47 seconds after the judge's score was released. So either way, I'm fine for Jordan Childs.
Hopefully she get it.
All-Black podium.
Yeah, so, hopefully she. First of all, that image.
If it's been decided yet.
No one can take away that image. That image was amazing when they did the young lady from Brazil who won gold, and I think Simone Biles and Jordan were kind of bowing to her. So that was really dope. But yeah, that is something that I can only imagine the devastation of winning a medal, and then next thing you know, getting news that they're trying to take it back or they're going to take it back. Yeah, so hopefully that gets worked out and that the right thing is done. But you're right, we're super happy for Jordan Childs, Team USA. And let's see, they both should get bronze medals is what Future Doctor says. I agree, let them both get it. At the end of the day, you can't just never mind, But let's see, Nova answered our questions about the new sports, baseball/softball. I feel like baseball was in it before. Then I think baseball was an Olympic sport, and then it stopped being an Olympic sport or whatever. That's interesting. So baseball, softball, lacrosse, cricket, flag football, and squash. Ayonnah, let's get some squash reps in. Let's make it happen.
Yep, exactly. Oh my gosh. Oh, also, I actually want to give a quick shout out to all the different countries that won their first Olympic gold medals. Like St. Lucia, Julian Alfred won the women's 100. Cape Verde, one of the men's won a boxing gold medal, and then Panama, my home country, my family's from. Won the first female medalist or female athlete to win a medal from Panama in boxing, and then the refugee Olympic team won their first medal as well in boxing. I think Algeria just won their first Olympic medal in boxing too. So boxing was a very successful sport, and Dominica, like I mentioned before, just wanted to give flowers to all the countries.
Yes, let's give flowers to all those countries. And chat, y'all gotta do me a favor and give some flowers to Ayonnah, who is a college student, very into this whole world of STEM and sports. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. You all got to share some love to Ayonnah for taking the time to hang out with us as we did our recap of the Olympics. Like I said, the closing ceremony was yesterday, but we had to make sure we have a acknowledgement of it here on Building Stuff with Nova. And I just want to say thank you to you, Ayonnah, for taking time in between studies, in between, your classes, if you will, so to speak, to come in and hang out with us on Building Stuff with Nova. So y'all send some love to Ayonnah in the chat. Twitch, YouTube, let's give her some love. Absolutely. Thank you for coming on. Everyone is saying shout out to you, Papa STEM herself. Thank you so much, Ayonnah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, this was so much fun.
Yeah. Let me share with y'all really quick what we got coming up this week. Obviously today we just did our STEM recap of the Olympics with Ayonnah. Y'all go give Ayonnah's brand a follow at STEMic Sports on IG and other platforms. But tomorrow we're going to get back into our escape room design with Trapology Boston. So we look forward to you. I think we're a level deeper in puzzle design for our final day, if I'm not mistaken, either day 3 or 4. Either way, come on Twitch tomorrow, hang out with us at 1 p.m. Eastern, so you can be a part of that ideation with us. And then Wednesday. Now, here's a piece that you all probably didn't know. Even our OGs on Twitch probably didn't know, but this project is happening or has been happening in parallel with the production of a documentary series around building stuff. That's right. We have some traditional documentaries that are going to be broadcast later on, but good news, Wednesday, you might get a sneak peek with probably a person that is on the documentary, one of the documentaries, and we're going to maybe even show a quick clip. We don't know. It's TBD, but nevertheless, I want you to come on Wednesday because we're going to talk about that and hopefully have a little peek to show you all with the documentary. And then Thursday, you're going to have my my full-fledged attempt to play the game we did last week with Moodles, Subnautica. And then Friday, there's no stream. So if you all are down to hang out with us, y'all let me know in the chat by saying down. Let me know if you're down. If you're down, put a down in the chat. I know Nova's building stuff is going to be with us. Again, shout out to Ayonnah. Thank you so much for today. And thank you for everyone who continues to be a part of the building committee here on Building Stuff with Nova, because we got a lot more great things to come. And so I'll see you tomorrow, tomorrow, 1 p.m., same time, same place, as we begin to design our engineering escape rooms. But until then, you all take care. Have the best. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Continue to do what you do and keep building. Peace.